My name is Dan Barusch. I am an MUEP alumni from 2014. Was very active while at school in the Student Planning Association and the Honor Society, URB. Currently, I am the Director of Planning and Zoning for the town and village of Lake George, upstate New York. Formerly, I held the title of Planner with Matrix Design Group out of Phoenix. Very cool job, first job, got me, into the, on the ropes, so to speak, into the realm of planning. And then I luckily was able to grab this job. We always have a lot of projects going at once. So the office is comprised of myself, my code enforcement officer, and our planning and zoning clerk. And so it's a dual department, I would say. So I interned in Mesa out there in their planning and zoning department, which had 40 people in it, maybe. Big city, so understandable. But they had things split up. So you had a couple planners, you had a zoning administrator, then you had the boss at the top, which theoretically is my position. Here, we kind of have everybody works on everything, but the two main focuses are planning and zoning. And so planning is more or less this long-term planning concept, all facets of planning, from housing to capital improvement and infrastructure planning, environmental planning, economic development planning. So in that wheelhouse, we always have a lot of current projects that are funded by grants. I'm also a grant writer for the town and village. So I write grants, and we usually get, 50 to 75% of those applications awarded. And with those, we do long-term planning projects. So a couple I have just finished up. One was a climate action plan for the town and village. Bounced off of all of these environmental groups around here, and the concept of that, resonating with me from my environmental planning degree, and what we learned about sustainability in college. Another project we just finished was a feasibility study to merge two of the departments, one at the town, one at the village. So government consolidation is a big thing here in New York, and so doing a feasibility study at any level of planning to understand the ability for something to happen and how successful it might be. Comprehensive plan, we updated that a couple of years ago and finished that. A lot of capital improvement projects. Some of our grants have been sewer upgrades, stormwater upgrades, roadway improvements. 2 years ago, we finished a $7 million transportation complete streets project on our main street. Put in sidewalks, pedestrian infrastructure, lighting, all that stuff. So that's really planning, and there's a lot more to it, but that's some of the best stuff, right? And the zoning aspect, which I would say, if I could turn back time, I would at ASU say we need a couple courses on municipal zoning and that whole ball of wax, because that is the other half of my job as a public planner here, is working with applicants on permitting, plan review, compliance with the zoning ordinance and the subdivision regulations. I do septic permits and those types of reviews, stormwater. So we have local codes here, a lot of codes. The main one is the zoning ordinance. And so I'm the one that I am the administrator of those codes, and I use them through the review and permitting process to get people permits for construction and other things. I would say helping the community through the planning process and assisting the community in general with long-term planning. Planning is such a multifaceted thing, And one of the aspects that public planners, people that work for government, levels of government, one of the things that is most important in their jobs is planning ahead, so long-term planning. And, that's things like comprehensive planning documents and whatnot. So doing that here in a tourist attraction town is really a cool thing. What do we want to look like in 5, 10, 15 years? What are we planning for? Expansion of infrastructure, things like that. So helping people, we love to get the gratitude that they are appreciative of our assistance. Spend the time that you need while at school learning everything you can and doing everything you can outside of classes. Get involved in the associations, get an internship, reach out to the municipalities and private firms, try to shadow people if you can, attend events, learn as much as you can, and do not narrow your scope. One of the things that I did in my undergraduate degree was start narrowing my scope. And once I found the planning program, I was able to reverse and open up my scope and the thought process of what I was going to be when I got out of school. And the possibilities with planning are close to endless. I mentioned earlier 5, 6, 7 types of planning. Could be a housing planner, an environmental planner, climate science planner, infrastructure planner, transportation planner. There's so many different planning facets out there. And then deciding on public versus private. When I was in school, everyone joked because I was hard worker, emailing at 11 p.m., trying to do things, working much more than, a normal student who wanted to party would. And so everybody would say, Dan, you're definitely going to go into the private sector, because that's how the private sector is. It's more late nights, it's more travel, it's more, not following the 9 to 5 formula. And so I did go into private at the beginning, and I loved the job, but it was a little too taxing on my life personally. And so the other piece of advice I would say for those students ready to graduate and looking for work, find balance. You need to find balance. Do not make everything about work. Do not make your life one sole thing. You have to find a balance, because no matter how good of a planner you are or could be, the balance is intricate to the success you're going to have and how your life will play out. For everything from happiness to emotional stability. So, we were traveling a lot with my last job. I was going overseas. It was a lot of 10 to 6 and this and that. So now I'm in my private job here, a public sector job here, and my hours are 8:30 to 4:30. Here and there I stay late, but my personal life has gotten where I wanted it to be. I've got a kid now. I'm able to spend time with my family. So it's definitely, it was eye-opening getting into that first job, but understand what you want to go into, public versus private.